go. Yikes. 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 Let's go. Oh, il y a de la musique et tout là. Sa mère. Let's go. Merde. On se touche. Hop. Yes, yes, yikes, yikes. Putain. Pas possible ça. Yo, yo, oula, 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 oula. Oula, c'est quoi ce délire là? Pourquoi il y a un monde d'un coup là? Attendez 2 secondes, je mets le live sur mon téléphone. Voilà. Ok, donc on est parti, session numéro 2, let's go. Cette fois-ci avec l'anglais, avec Mike et Oxy normalement. Donc on devrait être pas mal. Yo Subaru, salut. Salut Emric, salut Nash, salut Matt. Yo à tous ceux qui débarquent. Ouais, DEV.STREAM, alors c'est FR mais je vais essayer de faire la trad en fait. Il est en anglais là. Donc l'anglais je suis en mesure de le comprendre. Contrairement au russe. XLR qui t'assure. Eh ben on va voir. Déjà il y a un nouveau Léopard. Alors c'est confirmé, le Léopard que vous avez vu tout à l'heure là, c'est un Léo d'escadron. Donc en fait pour les gens qui seront dans la meute, enfin qui sont dans la meute, GG Wellplay parce que du coup bah, vous serez les premiers à avoir le véhicule d'escadron. Si vous êtes actif sur le jeu en tout cas. C'est un véhicule d'escadron le Léopard, donc faut être dans un escadron. Donc en l'occurrence bah, GG Wellplay pour les gens qui sont dans la meute comme je le disais il y a 2 secondes. Hop, voilà. Hop, yo Eagle, salut Rexat, bonjour à ceux qui débarquent. Salut, salut. Et dans 30 secondes là. Alors apparemment, de ce que j'ai lu donc sur le Discord des partenaires et puis de ce qui s'est dit, ils nous montreront pas les Français aujourd'hui parce que en fait les véhicules qui sont censés arriver chez les Français ne sont pas au point. Ils sont pas finis, donc apparemment ils vont pas trop montrer les Français. Ils vont plutôt montrer les Italiens et d'autres nations, mais pas trop les Français parce que c'est pas fini en fait. Les trucs français ne sont pas terminés. Verra-t-on en AUF1 un jour? Aucune idée. Là pour l'instant je crois que c'est complet, chat. Re, ceux qui reviennent. Ah bah bien évidemment ils nous sortent le petit trailer. Bon attendez, je vais nous mettre en full screen. Voilà. N'hésitez pas à me dire si le son est pas trop bien réglé ou... Oh là là, la petite aile là. Yes, let's go. Non, il n'y aura pas le F14. Non, 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 le F14 n'est pas prévu pour la mise à jour. Le F14 est pas prévu pour la mage. Allez, ils arrivent là. Ça se fait.
Hey,
oui, les ailes à géométrie variable, oui.
Welcome back to the WarThunder official channel. My name is Marcus Boom and I'm joined by the lovely Tom, aka Oxy. And today we have something special for you, don't we?
We certainly do.
Today we are going to be presenting you a preview of some of the things that are to come with the next update coming to WarThunder very soon. Which is named, and I'm probably going to botch this because I don't actually know how to pronounce this properly. Ixva something?
Well, I don't know. I'm in
as far as I'm aware, it's based on a South African spear.
Yeah. I tried to Google it, but I couldn't find the answer. So I just thought I would not even try because it would be a disaster if I did.
Mais oui, Oxy il a une tête de dépressif, mais c'est normal.
Yeah.
how about we go right into it and not waste much time.
Go.
We are going to start off with a bit of a different layout this time. We're going to start off showing off all the aircraft, or at least some of the aircraft we can show you today. Then we're going to switch over to tanks, then we're going to switch over to ships.
Ok, donc apparemment ils vont commencer par les avions, ensuite les chars et ensuite les bateaux.
See different things.
Apparemment de ce qu'ils ont dit.
We're gonna start off with the A7D. This is not a new plane.
Ben le truc c'est que Hypno, je suis un peu comme ça. Hein.
But it is getting
IRL c'est un peu genre délire.
In this patch, which you might see over here, the AGM65 Maverick. This is a fire and forget optically tracking.
Et bien évidemment c'est les missiles fire and forget sa mère.
It can lock onto a ground target by itself and follow that ground target by itself. The missile does this all by itself, whilst you can just fly away. And it is quite a powerful missile. I'm going to show you some of the other options that you have with this. You can of course mix and match it. You can have up to 4 of them if you want to, without any other ordnance. You can have 4 of them with the A9 as well, which is quite powerful for the multi-role power, but it's also going to make you quite heavy. And of course the base A7D platform is still quite powerful. Now we're actually going to test this out in a custom battle.
On sait, c'est le Bradley lourd. C'est le gros Bradley.
And we're going to test this out versus a tank, just to show you some of the things that this missile can do and that it can't do, because there are some things that it can't do.
Non, pour l'instant ils ont pas montré, mais je sais pas s'ils montreront aujourd'hui parce qu'apparemment, comme ils ont dit, j'ai eu des MP comme quoi ils étaient pas au point et apparemment c'est dit sur le forum aussi.
What this means essentially is that the missile has to be able to see the target. And this depends a lot on the conditions of the battle you're currently facing in. We're going to do this in a mock battle here. In pretty much the perfect conditions. We have a very bright map.
Ta mère favor, tu casses les couilles. C'est full cancer, putain. C'est full cancer, ce truc.
In fact, Tom is going to take out something interesting.
Pourquoi Martin? Parce que tu devais être inactif, tout simplement.
A little bit later on.
Si t'es inactif, j'ai fait des purges, si t'étais pas sur Discord, bah t'as qu'à t'en prendre qu'à toi. J'ai déjà dit que le Discord était obligatoire, toutes les news passaient dessus, donc si vous êtes fait cliquer, c'est parce que vous avez pas vu une news sur Discord. Pas contre vous, mais il y a beaucoup de gens qui veulent rejoindre, donc moi quand les gens sont inactifs, après si vous avez une raison valable, moi je suis pas contre, je prends, je clique pas les gens qui ont une raison. C'est quoi les pistes pour les Français? Pour les Français, j'en ai aucune idée. J'en ai aucune idée. Le Fatley, non, le Chadley. C'est le chat de Bradley. Donc là, ils vont faire jouer avec les AGM. Alors non, l'A7D sera pas chez les Français. Les Français ont jamais eu d'A7D. Les Français, ils ont eu le FU de Crusader. Et le FU de Crusader, c'est pas du tout la même chose.
Fire and forget, the missile is not tracking
le
itself.
Le Crusader, il est pas
As you can see, he is moving and he has just died.
I was indeed bullied, yes.
Attendez, il jouait quoi là?
So,
oh, il est là, regardez. C'était lui, il jouait le français là. Enfin, pas le français, le MSI 105. Enfin, le SK 105.
There is the counter.
Il était en train de le jouer, putain.
I will give it a go.
Since the missile is entirely dependent on being able to see the target, much like actually the closest equivalent
Yacht Panzer à
in the game right now is the
attendez, c'est un autre véhicule encore?
Tiger Ut helicopter. That is very similar in that it is also optically tracked. Well, that one is actually kind of laser tracked, but it can track itself. And you can defeat it by using cover or using smoke.
On va voir si elle retourne sur la caméra d'Oxys qui m'intéresse.
I will give it a go. I will perch on top of this dune here. Hello.
Aha, there you are.
Hit me.
Okay. I am locked on. I fired a missile.
Okay.
The missile is off. Tom has used his smoke screen. You may not be able to see the missile too well on the stream.
Est-ce que le missile l'a touché malgré la smoke? Putain, il en a rien à foutre de la smoke, le missile. Le missile, il en a rien à foutre de la smoke, putain.
Try again.
Oh là là.
So you kind of have to stay inside of the smoke screen for it to work properly, otherwise the missile will reacquire you.
Yes, it will.
Wow. Elle en a rien à péter, quoi.
Okay, so right.
OP, nerf it, please. C'est pas sorti. Nerf it. Oh, ouais. Je crois que c'est le français, enfin c'est le SK105.
Okay, whereabouts are you? There you are.
Ça a l'air, en tout cas.
Missile is tracked, missile is fired.
Ouais, si, je pense que c'est le SK105.
Smoke has been popped off.
On dirait bien en tout cas.
Missile is flying in that direction and it's self-destructed. The missile does actually self-destruct itself if it loses tracking for too long. That is one way of defeating it. Now, as you saw, it can reacquire lock by itself.
C'est possible de...
So, if the tank that is being fired upon...
Non, apparemment, il se détruit quand même. En gros, s'il a perdu le track depuis trop longtemps, il se détruit.
So long as it wasn't too long ago. But, if you stay in the smoke screen, the missile will auto-destruct itself. So that's one way of countering that quite effectively.
Putain, vous voyez que là, ils sont en Allemagne, hein, parce que clairement, la connexion du stream est bien meilleure. Hein, c'est un délire.
Tom is quite excited about, aren't you?
Yeah, I like the weird stuff. Not necessarily weird, but the things that are kind of... not as well known, I guess. That's kind of my jam. So this is the new Fokker, a very nice boy, as I do say so. And this is the version with the 20mm Oerlikons in the wings, and these little pods here.
Ouais, donc les 20mm Oerlikon dans les ailes, et puis la 762 là.
Well, worst performing
la 7.7 plutôt.
cannons, the early ones. But the flight performance of this thing regarding maneuverability is very, very nice. Maybe I can give it a little test flight.
Alors oui, c'est un kit sur un Léo de A4. C'est un kit sur le Léo de A4, la version que t'as là. Celui qu'ils nous ont montré tout à l'heure. C'est pas un Léo à part entière. Hein. Enfin, c'est une modification de Léo de A4 plutôt. C'est pas vraiment un kit, si je peux dire ça. Yo Noxu. Ah, t'as raté le SK105 Noxu. Enfin, ils l'ont vite fait montrer, mais... Non, mais il doit être allemand, il doit être chez les Allemands. Mais oui, mais en fait, je vous explique. Pourquoi est-ce qu'ils rajoutent le SK105 chez les Allemands? Parce qu'en fait, chez les Français, ils peuvent rajouter la MX 1305. Donc en fait, si les Allemands ont le SK105... Nous, ça veut dire que possiblement plus tard, on aura la MX 1305.
But there you go.
If you look behind yourself, you can look right through the back of the airframe, which is quite nice there.
That's actually going to be quite nice for simulator mode. Yeah. It's got a good view.
There's some good detail on there.
Surprisingly so.
Donc s'ils rajoutent le Google Sight, ça c'est normal.
Pretty. I like it.
Nice. Okay.
Very nice.
So all the Dutch shall rejoice.
Quite so.
Let's switch over to something a little bit more modern, and also something that is a new game mechanic. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the SU17.
Ah, le SU17, ils l'ont montré tout à l'heure.
En
vrai, il est vraiment stylé. J'aime beaucoup les ailes, les swing.
Introduced into WarThunder with this mechanic.
J'aime beaucoup.
Now, on this particular aircraft, they are not automatic. You have to use them manually. There are some keybinds that will be added that you will have to.
Ils sont obligés,
to be able to enable this feature. I'm going to show this off on the ground real quick.
C'est obligé.
As you can see, we can.
Non, les Oerlikon à la base, c'est une marque de fabricant de canons.
Okay. Now.
C'est pas un canon en particulier, un canon Oerlikon. C'est la marque du fabricant Oerlikon. Et t'as des Oerlikon de tout et n'importe quoi. Oerlikon existe encore à l'heure actuelle, mais ça fait partie de Rheinmetall. Oerlikon appartient à Rheinmetall actuellement. Mais Oerlikon, c'est vieux comme le monde. Enfin, Oerlikon, c'est depuis la Première Guerre mondiale.
What do you do? Well, how about you create a plane that has wings that can extend or retract themselves? So you can have the fully extended wings, so have a higher wing area.
Donc là, il est en train de parler du fait que les ailes peuvent être full déployées ou full rétractées. Ouais, racheté par une métal, exactement.
All you have to do is you have to activate the speed button.
The speed button, yes.
The speed button. You retract the wings. It will reduce your wing area. It will reduce your drag. It will make you much more streamlined, and all of a sudden you can go much faster. Now, one thing I have to note: right now, what you're seeing on the screen, this is all still very early work in progress. And right now, the swing wings do not have an effect on the actual flight mode, so I can't show you that.
Ah, ok, d'accord. Donc en gros, il est en train de dire qu'actuellement, les ailes à géométrie variable n'ont aucun impact sur le modèle de vol, et qu'en fait, elles améliorent pas du tout l'aérodynamisme ou quoi de l'appareil. En fait, de base, l'avion, il est configuré avec les ailes dépliées. Regardez, vous voyez, typiquement là, c'est ce qu'il dit. C'est qu'en fait, à l'heure actuelle, le modèle de vol, il est en un seul bloc en fait, et les ailes à géométrie variable sont pas fonctionnelles, ou du moins opérationnelles. Elles sont présentes visuellement, mais pas techniquement, en fait.
You have two manually aimed, mouse-aimed ATGMs. I believe there are more coming, but they're not quite ready yet. These, I believe, are the KH-23s.
Yes, we got two types coming, hopefully, in the future.
Hopefully so. So stay tuned for the dev server and for the release as well to see all the new stuff. So this is the SU17. I don't have a cockpit to show you, but Tom has something interesting to show you.
I do, yes.
Switch.
It's the camo. It does it for me.
Oh.
I love it. So yes, Italy is getting 3 new German vehicles for their ground tree. The premium being the Panzer 4G,
Italien.
and in the main line the 3N, which is a premium in the German tree,
Oh,
and the 3G as well.
Ah, ils ont mis 3 chars allemands chez les Italiens et un nouveau bateau.
Sympa,
j'aime bien les camos en plus. Ah, c'est l'Africa Corps en fait, enfin genre du côté italien quoi. Faites sa mère.
The Stug does get the
Nice.
smoke grenades as well, which I believe the German version doesn't. But apart from that, they are essentially the same. But it's a nice thing to add, especially
Ça,
for
c'est
lower
cool,
tiers.
ça.
It adds some more versatility to the
Copy
playstyle.
pasta, ouais, c'est à peu près ça. Là, je suis
Yeah,
d'accord,
it's
c'est du
really
copy
nice,
pasta, mais.
I mean, I don't know, it's just the camo. I'm so
Mais
sad
regardez, il est
it's
légèrement
just-
différent. On dirait.
I'm a big fan
Can I
of
just
that.
mention
Mais le
that
fait que la
somehow
plaque
the
soit
Stug looks even
repliée.
more awesome dressed up as a pizza.
It kind of, I mean, yeah, okay, yeah, pizza, yeah.
I just love it.
But yes,
And especially on the Panzer IV. The Panzer IV, I mean,
Mon Dieu.
I really like Panzer IVs.
yes,
It makes
you
me
do.
sad it's not the H variant with the side skirts, which would look absolutely amazing in that camo. But it looks so nice.
It does. It really does. Yeah,
C'est
so
marrant
there are
parce que
little
c'est le
differences to tell them
4G
apart if
et
you
avec
need to.
la formation du
Obviously
4G en
the
fait.
Panzer 4G in the Germany does not have these skirts on the
En
side.
gros, l'allemand, le 4G allemand n'a pas
I mean, they are
les
skirts,
side
they're just
skirts
not
sur la
side
tourelle,
skirts, they're turret skirts, I suppose.
alors
Not
que
quite as,
l'italien
happening,
si.
but perhaps
Mais il a quand même la
still the
rotation
same
de tourelle
thing,
du
I guess.
4G et pas du 4G.
So yeah, this is the little difference here. The N, of course, doesn't have the side skirts, and the Stug doesn't have them either. So you can kind of tell them apart if you ever need to. And overall, I think it's a pretty nice thing to add. I'm kind of happy about this.
It flashes out the lower tier Italian tech tree, especially the Stug 3G, which is really quite nice.
Ça pourrait
I
être
think
sympa.
it's a really good
Faut
feature.
juste espérer que les Allemands tombent pas contre les
Now, let's
Italiens
switch
en
over
sému quoi.
to another aircraft we actually forgot to show again. Ladies and gentlemen, I have something very special to introduce to you. Did I hear highway to the danger zone?
I don't
And we're just showing off sweat wings, so it's only natural that we show off the fabled MiG-28. Except not really.
Look at him. He's such a prankster, isn't he? Look
I
at
have a
him.
feeling half of these guys are not going to get a reference because the
No.
movie is quite old. It's older than me.
It's
But
old.
yes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the F5A in
Donc
the
le
game in the
F5,
Chinese
ça, ils l'ont
territory
déjà
as the
montré sur le
Taiwanese
stream.
variant. Now I know, there's going to be some chat about why is the F5 not in the American territory.
Non, en fait, Martin,
Quite
ça
simple.
c'est une
This
branche, c'est une
specific
colonne dans
variant,
l'arbre.
The F5A was purely an export variant. I believe the Americans
C'est
did
un
some
arbre,
testing with
c'est
it,
une
but they
colonne
didn't
dans l'arbre
really
anglais, en fait.
use it. So it doesn't really fit in the American tech tree. This does not mean that the F5 will not
Ils aiment
come
bien
to the
proquer un
American
MI
tech tree
qui c'est
eventually.
rigolo. Hein.
Not this patch, but maybe in the future.
C'est
Now,
Toby
this is a surprisingly small little jet. It is
It's a tiny
actually
boy.
kind of tiny.
Mais c'est vrai que pour un jet, il est petit. Hein.
This has a interesting armament, as you can see over here. You have access to AIM 9Ps, a pair of them.
20G,
Sadly not
les
4, but
M9P.
workable. What you do have 4 of is AGM-12 ball pops. So this is going to be a very good CAS option for high tier
La
Chinese
version B des bullpup.
ground forces, for example. It's going to be quite nice.
Par
for
contre, pour
that.
l'attaque au sol,
There's
ouais,
also
ça va être
variants
vénère.
of
Les 4 bullpup
bombs.
là.
I personally like this
Au
one as
secours.
well. This one
Oh,
quite,
c'est bon, c'est le
quite a lot.
G91,
You can use
c'est le
bombs
G91
with your
américain, quoi.
anti-air missiles. You can use rockets. You
La
can
même
use
chose.
all kinds of different things. This is a very versatile plane.
Very versatile.
You also have access to 2
Après, il est en
20mm
17, hein.
cannons with
Il est en
560 rounds, which is quite
17,
good.
quoi.
And a decent amount of penetration, actually. 53mm is not bad at all. You can do some strafing with that, especially against lighter skinned vehicles.
53 mm, ouais, tu fais
I'm
pas
going
mal
to
de
quickly
cibles au sol,
give
quand
it
même. Même
a
en
little
17,
test drive
t'arrives à
just
taper
to
pas mal de chars.
show you guys the mobility in general. And Tom's already preparing something as well. I'm just going to fly it without anything, just to show you a bit of the mobility. Of course, stuff is not final. Flight modes are not final. What you see here is not representative of what will eventually come to the final game. Stuff is still being worked on. But I can show you something very interesting with this particular one. So,
On va faire un test drive.
this is a tiny little attacker slash fighter slash plane slash cutie, really.
Oui, oui, je sais, oui, je
It's
sais
also
très bien qu'il est pas
complex.
chez les Américains. Je
Also,
sais, je suis au courant, t'inquiète pas, il est
Given
taché.
its size.
Mais c'est pas parce qu'il est pas chez les Américains que je vais pas me faire péter le cul par, en fait.
Really good nose
À partir du moment où le truc il est en jeu et que je vais jouer une nation qui va tomber contre, bah je vais me faire péter le cul. En
As you can
fait.
see, you also have a
Donc c'est
fully
pareil.
modeled cockpit, which looks quite nice. Thankfully,
Mais c'est
the
la même
gauges are all
chose, ça reste un
English, not in,
G91
Chinese, because that would be,
américain, dans
very
le sens
hard
où il
to
sera pas
read
chez les
in simple
Américains, mais c'est un avion américain.
As
Donc,
it's a drag shoot and all the good stuff. Oh, I forgot to show
Je
something
disais pas
about
ça dans le
the,
sens où il va être chez les
HFV.
Américains, hein.
Oh.
Je dis c'est ça dans le sens où c'est un
We'll go
avion
back to that
américain.
towards the end of the
en fait.
stream as
We
well.
will.
Okay, we got a little bit of speed.
Sauf
and
que là, bah il sera chez les Chinois.
this thing just flicks around.
Un truc que je vais jouer avec mon.
Very good rudder authority, very good.
non, en fait,
aileron
je fais les
authority,
avions.
just flicks where you
Mince
point it,
alors.
essentially. It's very
Bah,
good
du
for
moins en
getting the
réachat.
snapshots in. You do have
Il est quand même bien maniable. Hein.
Not the most
Après,
amazing,
faut
of
dire
course,
que
it's
vu la
still
taille
a
de
jet,
l'appareil.
it's not going to be beating a biplane in a turn fight. But you can pull quite a bit of G's.
Non, Taïwan c'est pas la Chine, je suis tout à fait d'accord.
I know many people who are going to be quite excited about this one. The F5 is iconic, especially the older audience who has seen movies like Top Gun. This is quite a nice one, and I'm honestly going to be surprised if we don't see a custom MiG-28 skin by release date, like even before the patch releases. It's going to be nice.
I hope so.
Now tell me, you have something else to show there, don't you?
I do, yes.
À mon avis, oui, il va y avoir des custom skins.
We have the BT7M and the T28 1938 as well.
Il va y avoir des custom skins sur ces appareils, c'est ce qu'il dit Mike. Vu que ça fait partie du film Top Gun.
To accelerate and maneuver, it doesn't have a high top speed, but it does mean that it can pull faster, it can maneuver faster, and it's be pretty decent in that respect as well. But everything else is pretty much the same. The T28, the difference here is that it uses the howitzer gun, so not the longer 76 that the other T28 uses. This uses the same cannon the T35 and T26-4 use.
En gros, il utilise le même canon que le T26. C'est exactement le même canon que le T26.
It can be pretty good at getting through angles, especially at the lower tiers. So
ouais, donc en gros, ouais, c'est un obus qui peut être plutôt bon dans les bas tiers si vous prenez le bon angle, si vous tapez le bon angle.
Really is that why these two vehicles are here is they may show up in enlisted at some point. What do you think?
Il y a un SU11 tout à droite là, c'est normal. C'est quoi le SU11? C'est quoi le SU11 les gars?
So I'm kind of hyped for that. But yeah, I like these sort of lower tier things, especially this kind of interwar period as well. Really cool stuff.
Yeah, Macta.
Honestly, the thing I'm excited about the most is because this is a huge, massive land ship at 1.3. You're going to be scaring some new players who have never seen something this big on the battlefield.
C'est vrai que c'est gros, ouais, mais c'est ça. Rajoutez le FCM2C, on va voir si c'est un gros char. Ça a été un jouet à côté d'un FCM2C. Mettez-nous même un FCM2C, on va rigoler. Ou un TOC 2.
Realistic. It is realistic. Just so we can get the reference for 500 horsepower here, and I believe the regular BT is 400.
The regular BT is 400. It is a bit lighter, however. The BT7M is a bit heavier, but I've done the maths. Whilst the regular BT7 has a horsepower power-to-weight ratio of just under 30 horsepower per ton, which is MBT levels, really. This thing, the BT7M, has 35 horsepower per ton.
75 chevaux par tonne.
We're going to quickly jump into another custom battle on our new map
35 chevaux par tonne, pardon.
In this update, a new ground map.
Non.
And we're going to do a little
J'ai
drag
cru
race
entendre
between
75,
the BT7 old one and the new BT7M. So I'm going to quickly send you an invite. And we are going to start a match. And at the same time,
ouais, c'est 35 chevaux par tonne,
we're going
d'accord.
to also show you a bit of the map. Yeah, see the sides, you know, all the good stuff. On the new map coming for ground forces.
Non, pas trop, Gogo, non. Bah, ils ont vite fait montrer le SK105, mais très vite en fait. Mais sans plus.
Now, Tom, I suggest you spawn on the western side. I spawn on the eastern side. We can switch the views around a little bit.
And my brain frantically trying to work out which way east and west are.
The top right one for you. Top left one, sorry.
There we go, see? That's the kind of transference. Let's go.
Let's just say directions are hard. Yes.
Vous voyez pas l'activer Windows. Je vais l'activer un jour.
Map layout over here, by the way. You got a city area over here. You got a hilly area over here. It gives you a nice contrast. You have a long straight road right down the middle, which is what we're going to be using for the drag race in a bit. But first we are over here. Now I am going to drive through the city to show you a little bit of that area, and Tom is going to drive through the hilly area over there, which he's struggling a bit to get up the hills over there. There you go. Which is a bit more wide open. It's just to really show you the contrast between
ils vont faire une course entre le BT7 classique et le BT7 amélioré. Ah mais ça va, elle est pas toute plate la route, putain j'ai eu peur. J'ai cru que c'était une ligne droite complète. Non ça va alors, c'est bon.
And if you're, in a vehicle that's more suited to brawling or kind of flanking using the short sight lines, you can go into the city.
Ils ont pas montré dans quel arbre il était le SK les gars.
Kind of make that contrast. So I'm kind of excited to see how this one's going to play, and it looks really nice visually too.
One thing I really like about the hilly area,
la map est sympa. La map a l'air sympa.
Yeah, there's defilades and stuff.
Valleys to hide behind.
C'est pas une map toute plate, donc ça va.
Kind of reminds me of that one nuclear mission.
Do it.
Oh god.
Say the line, Mike.
No, I will not.
Say the line.
I will not. You have a plaza over there, which I'm also going to show. This city is a bit dilapidated. It reminds me a little bit of the April Fool's Future City map that we had a few years ago.
Il dit que ça lui rappelle un peu la map avec les aliens, la map du futur.
You have the square area over here, which is quite nice. I'm just going to see if those signs are destructible.
I believe they are.
They are indeed. So there you go. If you're not a fan of all the signs, you can actually take them down as well. Meanwhile, Tom is over here. You're still going down the main road, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm actually going to respawn and... Actually, I'm going to show just a little bit more of the city. Then I'm going to respawn and join you over there as well.
Looks good to me.
Non, la map a l'air sympa,
I
en
actually
vrai.
want to see... Hold on, what's the area? Let's check out the middle area as well.
Enfin, personnellement, je suis un fanat de map urbaine, donc la map me plaît beaucoup. Alors après, je sais que c'est pas le cas de tout le monde, mais ouais, elle a l'air petite par contre, je suis d'accord. Ça a l'air d'être du map, encore une map de...
Yeah, they're really cool, right? They're so sweet.
I want to race that now.
Yeah, man.
Ça a l'air encore d'être une map mouchoir de poche. J'aime beaucoup les maps de ville, mais le problème c'est qu'elle est trop petite pour moi, hein, clairement.
I'm having a whale of a time.
Yeah, you're just enjoying the wide open world.
C'est
Sévère,
Some planes, let's go. And there we go, we are now in the middle area. Now there are of course different game modes for this. You have the casual battle, you have free cap game modes, you have one cap game modes, all that good stuff. The map is about the size you can see on the mini-map. It doesn't get bigger than that, really. It's not the biggest of maps, it's not the smallest of maps, it's about the medium size, I would say. With a nice balance between urbanization and
le problème de la map, c'est qu'il dit oui, on peut voir la taille de la map, mais justement il dit c'est une taille médium. C'est bien, le problème c'est que pour des MBT, taille médium c'est pas ouf quoi.
BT7 old and the new BT7M. Now I believe we still have the same top speeds and reverse speeds, right?
We do, yep.
Donc en gros ils ont la même vitesse maximale, la même vitesse marche arrière. Le truc c'est l'accélération qui va tout changer, je crois.
So do you still have, can you quickly show the reverse speed, just so people know?
Can give it a go.
10 km per hour, I mean it's not the best, definitely not for something that speedy as this, but it works.
Chum on the horizon, here he comes.
Oh no, who is that?
Let's go.
Who is he?
You dare approach me?
I'm sort of approaching, I suppose, quite slowly, but...
Get as close as you'd like then.
Oh no.
I mean, yeah, you're getting, you're being quite slow, it's fine. Okay,
non, en gros ils veulent faire une course, ils veulent faire une drag race en fait. Genre ils se mettent à côté et puis ils veulent faire la course.
There we go.
Il a l'air d'avoir une bien meilleure marche arrière.
Tom, I will do you the honor of doing the countdown.
Okay, what should we go on? Go or what? You choose.
On go.
Okay, right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Starting at the same time.
This is like playing Hot Wheels with your friends when you're like 5. I love this. This is great.
Now keep in mind, we are both fully upgraded. We are both have the same crew stats as well. Yeah, I mean, of course, now is the awkward moment when we both have the exact same top speed. So this is about the same distance we stay.
We are just sort of stuck like this now, yeah. Yeah, overall the acceleration and general mobility is much better for the M, so it's a nice little thing to have. And
donc en gros, Oxy il a le M, la Mike il a le classique en fait, et ils veulent montrer que le M a une bien meilleure accélération que le normal quoi.
I need a race map on this.
Yes.
I think that would be nice.
And of all the roads I've seen, it's definitely one.
Alors ça par contre il a pas tort. Une map de course sur cette carte, ça pourrait être pas mal.
Let's move on to the next vehicle. Now, I see some people in the chat asking for Japanese stuff. Well, how about we deliver?
Ah, ils vont aller montrer le Hiroshima.
We could certainly deliver some Japanese stuff for you guys. So, Tom is going to be taking out a look at the new low-tier tank destroyer coming to Japan.
Another low-tier boy. This is the Hiroshima, which is on the chassis of the Rogo, which is the premium here.
Donc oui, c'est bien le châssis du Rogo.
This one kind of strips the main sort of turrets off and replaces it with this 120mm gun. Not quite as powerful as the gun found on the Chiha long gun. It's a little bit weaker. We take a look at the ammunition here. We have the HE round and the SAP round. SAP is really powerful tanks.
La SAP, je confirme, c'est vraiment violent. Il y a qu'à voir sur le Chia long gun. Le Chia long gun, la SAP, c'est du one tap. À tous les coups, vous one shotez, surtout à votre B1. C'est monstrueux. Il y a 7 membres d'équipage dans ce char. 7 membres d'équipage. C'est un minibus.
It's really nice to see. I've been looking forward to this one for a while. It's just, it's fun, it's unique, it's that kind of area of the game that's just really cool. And I don't know, I really like it. So,
et oui, c'est un canon français, pour ceux qui se posent la question. C'est un canon Schneider de 120 mm qui date du 19e siècle.
And it's just pretty cool. I'm a fan.
Honestly, my stance is just that there can never be enough derp guns.
Et oui, c'est français.
It's kind of nifty for that. You see all the ammunition in the side there, which is also cool.
It's not going to be a very survivable tank, that's for sure.
Probably not. But it's a nice addition.
C'est pas un char qui est fait pour aller au corps à corps, hein, par contre.
It's going to be fun, I think. I'm excited to see how this one's going to play for sure.
Zéro armure, hein. C'est
vraiment. Let's move over to the next vehicle. We have shown it a little bit before in that A7D test, but lads, welcome to the game.
Ah, bon par contre je suis chez les Allemands, hein. Voilà, ça c'était sûr. Et je m'y attendais, c'était gros comme une maison. Il est chez les Allemands.
Yes, but this is a Swedish plane technically, which is used by Austria. This is a native Austrian design, the Yacht Panzer Kürassier A2. You know,
I thought
I was going to talk about this. I was dreading doing that, but I'm so glad you nailed it. So there we go.
You can attempt to. Maybe next stream.
Definitely won't do that.
Yes. This is a new tank coming to Germany, 9.3, a light tank, and honestly,
parce que c'est un châssis et un véhicule à la base
this is not quite the base camo.
Autrichien.
You can see it over here. Base, it looks like this, just greenish.
À la base, c'est un véhicule autrichien, donc
really quite nice, and I really
chez les Allemands.
Voilà. This has 105 mm.
Oui, mais 4 secondes reload, c'est normal.
Auto-loading gun in an oscillating turret. That's quite a mouthful. With a laser rangefinder and with pretty good thermals as well. I'm going to quickly show you
donc il a un rangefinder.
Tab. Again, once again, keep in mind.
Oh, il a la thermique. Oh, il a de l'OFL 120 F1.
You have the laser rangefinder already as a tier 2 upgrade, which is quite good for those long range snipes, especially since you have access to APFS DS
at
the top of your ammunition choice. Base heat FS with 400 mm, APFS DS with 361. This is going to be quite good.
Yeah, the entry level sort of French loadout there for that gun.
And you also have yourself access to the thermal. So I'm going to quickly show you this in a test drive to show you the general mobility. Of course, armor isn't really much to talk about.
Il va être OP, mais pas chez les Français.
You want to be tanking shots in. This tank you want to sneak around in and use that 4-second autoloader, by the way.
What?
It's going to be a fast firing gun, that's for sure. I do want this in realistic mode though, you can see as well. The gun depression isn't the best, to be honest. For a Western tank, it's a bit lacking.
Yeah, not quite up to the sort of regular standard on that front. But I mean, for all of its advantages, it's got a lot going.
Non, il est pas premium. Hein. Il est dans l'arbre.
It's going to work well. Perhaps we can also show some of the new effects as well on the ground forces.
Yes, so we have new which we can show, as well as new aircraft, and we also have new aircraft guns.
Vous pouvez pas savoir à quel point j'ai envie de les insulter.
So, firstly, mobility. The top speed backwards is only 8 miles per hour, which is not great for a light vehicle, I have to say. Forwards, we aren't going to be reaching the top speed on.
Après, s'ils rajoutent les MX 1305, en vrai, m'en bat le couille, hein. Mais qui rajoute le 1305, quoi.
Completely stabilized gun.
Oh, la thermique en HD en plus, quoi.
And absolutely no issues.
Oh.
With the APFS. It is quite good, I have to say.
Very much.
Now I'm going to try out the HE effects. There should be some new explosion effects when you hit stuff.
Là 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 là.
So cool.
Oh, les explosions, par contre, les effets d'explosion sont énormes.
Oh, okay. On the ground you can see it as well. That looks actually very, very nice.
The sparks are improved as well.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Sort of more like, I don't know, hotter from the looks of it. I like that.
Let's see what the heat does.
Or that.
Well, I mean, exploding the tank generally tends to mask your ability to show off the, you know, effects, but let's shoot the ground.
Maybe see if we can get close and kind of get a
non, Mathias, c'est une tourelle autrichienne. En fait, c'est une tourelle autrichienne, mais qui est... Enfin, c'est une tourelle française, mais qui a été modifiée, en fait. La tourelle française a été modifiée et le châssis, par contre, il est de conception autrichienne. Non, c'est une tourelle française. Elle a juste été modifiée par les Autrichiens. Si, Mathias, c'est une tourelle FL12. Je sais, je me suis renseigné, on a regardé avec Grevus. C'est une tourelle FL12. C'est une tourelle française.
After your ready rack is depleted, it's going to take quite a while to replenish each shell, and it's going to massively reduce your fire rate as well. Okay, let's do a quick deflection shot over here.
Oh, la poussière que ça fait, par contre.
Yeah, kind of zoomed away.
I'm seeing the shell.
That's kind of cool. Zooming, dude.
Absolute zooming. Let's try with an APF-SDR shell.
And there's a sort of new groove there as well.
Eh ben honnêtement
like the
Théo,
long
rien du
kind
tout.
of
Ça me trigger, c'est
Oh,
tout.
yeah.
Mais bon,
There's more kind of
j'attends de voir.
variance in the effects from what I understand. So when you kind of shoot an armor that's very, very angled, it will create a deeper groove as well, which is kind of interesting. There's a lot of sparks going off there. That's very cool.
Welcome to WarThunder, now with 200% more Michael Bay effects.
Yes. Comedy.
Michael
Going to
Bay,
quickly go back to
ouais,
Hank
non, je
just
pense
to
pas qu'on
show
y soit
you
encore.
the first
Germany
stage
Suffer,
wrap.
toujours Germany Suffer les gars, toujours.
59 kilometers
Ça,
per
c'est
hour top
normal,
speed. It's actually a surprisingly light vehicle, but the engine is kind of weak.
Yeah.
And you have a massive MREC over here, which you probably should not.
Waouh.
Just
Ouais,
a
bah de toute façon
tip.
c'est pas un char qui est fait pour encaisser les obus, hein, je pense
What you can
qu'on
see
est au
is
courant.
over here, 12 rounds, yeah. 12 rounds, depression is kind of bad. Turret traverse is decent.
105 mm,
It's a vehicle you want to be not seen in. It's definitely a flanker,
M57.
that's for sure.
Quite so.
And that is the Cuirassier. Moving on to the other thing you see over here, which has been getting people talking.
Yes.
There's a new Leopard 2.
Léopard encore.
This is the Leopard 2
Another
PL.
Léopard.
This is a Polish variant.
Bon ça par contre c'est
modification
un...
of the 2A4,
Ça
I
c'est
believe,
un...
with some additional armor
véhicule
and some,
d'escadron. Ça ce sera un
better
véhicule
thermal
d'escadron, hein, je
optics.
précise.
And this is going to be a squadron reward vehicle. So, you do not need to really own any of the other German top tier tanks to
Ah il est
be
derrière
able
le
to get
Raketen
this
Panzer de
vehicle.
haute.
All you need to do is, like any of the other squadron reward vehicles, is
C'est un véhicule d'escadron.
gain squadron research points, unlock yourself this tank, and you can roll around in your very own German Leopard 2. Polish Leopard 2, I should say.
We got there.
C'est un véhicule d'escadron. Le
Once
Léopard 2
again, work in
polonais.
progress, so keep in mind this might all change. Currently, the top shell it has is the M23, which is, I believe the 2A4 is the M33.
I don't know if it does. I don't believe so.
It's not the best APF-SDR shell, that's for sure. It's not top tier levels. Although you have a very good thermal imager.
Oui, bah
as well as
après
a,
la thermique
laser
HD
rangefinder,
c'est
which
normal,
I'm
c'est un
going to
véhicule
show
qui est
you
très
the
récent
thermal
quand
imager,
même, donc
What's Reddit?
c'est normal.
just so you guys can check it out. And there we are. Actually, maybe not that good right now.
What?
Does it have Commander? I haven't actually tested this one.
It does not have Commander Thermals, but it does have Commander IR.
Pardon?
Again, things are work in progress.
Ils
just
auraient...
showing you
Ouais,
finished
voilà, on est
models,
d'accord. Hein.
Features and stuff are still being worked
Ce qu'il est en train de dire, c'est
Okay,
encore
next up,
en
we
cours
have,
de
Tom,
développement
you
en
have
fait.
something interesting
C'est pas
to show.
fini, le
Yes.
véhicule est pas terminé.
I have a brief overview of the M3A3 Bradley, the new upgrade.
Ouais, parce que c'est une modernisation qui date au moins des années 2005-2010, si ce n'est pas plus. Donc le fait qu'il ait une thermique comme ça m'étonnerait quand même. Hein. Ouais, c'est work in progress, ouais, c'est ce qu'il est en train de dire, Mathias. Il y aura fait. Moi j'attends avec Extra, hein. Franchement j'attends avec Extra.
When this thing will release, currently on this test server, it only has the regular TOW missiles. It will have the TOW 2Bs, which I believe the...
Ah, il va avoir les TOW 2B apparemment quand il sortira. Pour l'instant, il a que les TOW classiques, mais apparemment, il aura les TOW 2B quand il va sortir. Et c'est avec les top attaques en fait. Ça permet de. En gros, vous savez, c'est des missiles que vous tirez au-dessus du char. Et en fait, ça tape dans le char. Le missile, il revient par le toit du char en fait. Comme les billes, exactement. Comme le suédois.
For the main gun as well.
APF-SDR starts 40-25 mm
Yes,
chain
and
gun.
that's pretty nifty. So right now it does only have these regular ones, but that will be upgraded when it comes out. And the armor as well, even though it is
apparemment l'armement va être amélioré.
It does have some armor improvements overall, so not to the point where it's really going to be tangible, but you will maybe survive some extra hits from autocannons like the German 20mm on the Leopard 2K and the KBZ-70.
Je sais pas pourquoi je suis inquiet de faire des ruptures de coque.
Slightly, you can sort of survive a little bit longer on that front.
Ce serait bien.
But overall, not.
J'aimerais bien une rupture de coque avec mon
also does have a more powerful engine, but because it is heavier, it's not really that much more mobile, but it is a bit better. So in terms of actually maneuvering from static positions, it's going to be a little bit faster there as well. So a nice addition, I think, really cool thing to have. And it's going to have some more adaptability in the higher tiers as well, even though it is currently 8.3. It can be used way above that, especially with the TOW 2Bs as well. So that's going to be fun to see, I think, too.
Donc apparemment ils disent qu'il peut encaisser jusqu'à du 20 mm allemand. Mais j'ai des doutes là-dessus quand même.
Yeah, that's true.
Everything else doesn't really. So those are going to be quite effective. If you can get them off without dying first, of course.
That too. That too.
Now, Tom, what's actually prepared the next one? I'm just going to quickly switch over to the A7D again, because I want to show you the HUD, the new HUD for the A7D, which I completely forgot to mention.
Il veut montrer les Mavericks.
So HUDs is something that has been
Ça me
requested
déprime.
by the community for a while, and there you go.
Donc il y a
You have
le
a new
cockpit tête
digital
haute,
HUD, which is going to be very nice for the sim fans,
l'affichage tête haute.
especially
Ça, y a
with this
beaucoup de
view
gens
as
qui
well.
le
It's
demandaient.
this plane is going to be amazing for sim. I'm just thinking right now.
That's gonna be really fun.
You have flares, you have very good air-to-air missiles, you have ballistic computer, you have TV view, you have digital HUDs, you even have the TV view in the cockpit itself as well.
That's really
Cool.
You can kind of control it from here. And the map. Oh boy, this is nice. I like this.
It's truly the current year. That's good.
It really is the current year, isn't it?
It definitely is.
Alright, and in the meantime, you have a new Chinese edition as well for the Grand Prix.
I do.
Le PTL02.
We can
Ça fait
take
cool.
a brief
Voilà.
look at the PTL02, which is the proportions of this thing. I mean, in my brain, it looks like this doesn't quite work in my brain.
It is a bit derpy.
It is a little derpy, but I like it. I like this kind of thing. So this is the new sort of scouty light vehicle at 8.0 for the Chinese tree, and I believe it uses an analog of
En
the brand
vrai,
present
vous
on
enlevez
the,
la roue du milieu, vous
the
retravaillez un peu
regular
l'arrière,
TL
le machin c'est un VAB.
69 in the tech
Ou vous
tree.
enlevez la roue de l'arrière et
100
vous
millimeter gun.
supprimez tout un
It
morceau de
uses the
l'arrière, c'est un
same,
VAB.
dart round as well, and the heat FS. So not
C'est un
exactly
VAB.
the best dart round or heat
Ah, je veux un
FS,
VAB chinois.
but as a vehicle, it adds a new playstyle to China that wasn't really present.
Pour la
there
France, ils ont
before.
rien
They didn't
montré.
have
Mais en fait,
the
pour la
look
France,
vehicle
les gars,
license, and they do,
ce
which is
qu'ils
pretty
ont dit,
cool.
c'est que c'est pas
And,
au point en
so,
fait.
well, in terms of
Ils
what
ont
the
rien
Chinese
fini
is
sur
and
la
can do,
France. En fait, les
very,
véhicules
very
sont en
quick
cours de
conversions, not
développement, mais
as
ils sont
much
pas
on
terminés.
rough terrain, armor as well,
Donc ils nous le
nothing to
montreront
really
sûrement pas tout de
write
suite.
home about, as
Peut-être
they
un
say.
prochain dev server.
But
Prochain
as
dev
a
server.
vehicle, it's a nice thing to have,
Enfin,
and
dev stream
especially
plutôt.
it has the camos as well, which I'm a big fan of, as you know, because I'm very boring. But I don't know, it just all of the camos on this thing look nice.
This one
It's
that's
very,
very
very-
saturated.
J'aime beaucoup le tricolore.
This one.
That's the one, yeah. We
It-
like this one.
It's so green!
It is very green. It reminds me of like I used to get these like army
C'est bien qu'ils
sets
fassent des
when I
digitaux.
was younger,
Yeah.
like toys and stuff. They have this kind of the same.
Les
scheme,
digitaux
you
sont
know?
bien plus stylés.
Like all the jackets and that kind of thing. Like it's this.
En gros, notre truc est
I'm
pas
getting so
encore
many
arrivé et du
memories
coup, ils le
right now.
montrent
This is
pas.
great.
Pour
We
faire
need some
ça.
Green Army Men as the next April Fool's event.
Ah, je vous promets, ça va
we do.
d'être bien parce que
Perhaps we
sinon.
do. So yes,
ça
new
chie.
vehicle, pretty cool. I'm a fan.
Fleshing out the tech tree. Speaking out of fleshing out the tech trees, let me introduce to you the IKV91 105. The
IKV
new
91
tank
105.
coming to the Swedish tech tree. It's based on the IKV91.
On verra, on verra.
Very well liked vehicle already in the game. This one gets upgraded with a 105mm cannon, and I love this camo. Oh my god. So, once again, work in progress. Keep in mind, things can change. It has scouting. It has a 105mm cannon with a 4.6 second reload. It has
4,6
sure how to
secondes de
pronounce this in Swedish,
reload.
but I just call this the slap projectile.
That
because
works, I suppose.
That's just my
C'est un
headcanon,
putain de
essentially.
906 suédois.
This is an APFS shell at 8.3.
Qui tire de la
You
flèche,
don't
qui est
have
plus
thermals,
parce que sinon
but
c'est
you
pas
do
drôle.
have a laser rangefinder, and we're going to quickly
C'est
check
un
this out into a test
putain
drive to
de
see
906
how the
suédois.
handling and the gun performance. Just a quick look at that. Oh, I didn't load the camo, damn it.
Sad.
So you do have the full stabilizer, you do have this weirdly placed oblique engine, which is realistic by the way, this is not an error, this is how this thing looks. It's weird. Sweden, why?
Why so-
First IKEA, then this. And you have yourself a very nice APFS shell.
J'attends de voir ce qu'ils vont nous sortir. Hein. Là pour l'instant ils montrent rien mais j'ai hâte d'avoir le contenu à faire juste pour voir ce que c'est. Oh si c'est des rangs ou une connerie comme ça.
Now, I think
mon
we
Dieu.
have been holding you guys out for quite long, haven't we?
Perhaps.
Lads, it is time. We are going to be presenting the actual star of this patch. The new tech tree line. It is not quite a separate nation. We teased this before.
Là ils vont présenter
Instead, it
les
is a new
véhicules
line
sud-africains.
in the British tech tree.
That it is.
Welcome to the game, South Africa. And we're going to start off with the low tier stuff.
Yes.
Tom, take it away.
I have a couple of the new
Ah!
logos for the South African branch here.
Qu'est-ce que c'est que
in
cet
the section.
insecte?
So, I think a lot of people probably weren't
C'est
expecting
quoi ce
there to be some
truc?
low-tier stuff, but we do have these two, the Marring Heritage,
Ah!
which I think I said that wrong.
Mes
Anyway,
yeux!
these
Au
are,
secours,
two
j'ai la
low-tier
rétine qui
vehicles.
brûle.
This is in tier 1 and the
Ah!
tier 2 version with
C'est
the 6
horrible.
pounder, so it does gonna have the scouting abilities.
Oh
and
mon
probably my
dieu.
favorite gun in the game, perhaps. I love the 57.
Oh mon
really
dieu.
good.
It's really good. And I mean, these things in terms of proportion look a bit weird. I mean,
I was about to mention, it looks so derpy. It,
It
looks like a
does.
toy tank squished
it
together.
does. I mean, this thing, you know, it
Oh
works
mon
out as a
dieu,
library.
Seigneur.
It's a
Ne la
very
jamais
top-heavy looking
vite.
vehicle, but very, very
Ah non mais
nice.
c'est terrible.
I love this kind of stuff.
Ah, c'est horrible.
I mean, I keep saying that, but it's great. I know you're saying over like.
Non, non, tu peux pas dire que c'est great là. Non, 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 c'est moche, c'est horrible. C'est l'enfer.
It is very
Ça
soft.
ressemble à rien.
It's
C'est un putain de jouet. Oh, j'ai l'impression de voir le... Comment c'est? Le STRV 74. En pire. Le STR V74 avec des roues et une tourelle de... Comment c'est Putain, j'ai mangé là l'anglais là. Comment il s'appelle?
We're going to move on to the rest of the British line, in which
j'ai mangé le nom.
Reddit mode because people like
Puma mélangé, voilà, Puma mélangé à Crusader.
Currently have again work in progress. In fact, there's one specific point I need to touch on when it comes to this line. As you can see, it's just a separate line in the tech tree. You don't need to reach a certain level to research the South African tanks. You can start them right away. One thing to note is a question that I'm sure is going to come up, which is the Roykart Mark 1D. This will be moved into this line. So, if you
en gros, le Roykart va être bougé dans la line-up des Sud-Africains.
Before the update drops, just so that you get yourself, already a vehicle research without having to then wait to research all the previous stuff to get access to buying that once again. Just keep this in mind. Alright, let's show off some of the stuff that we have here. Let's start off with the Ratel 20.
Oh, the camo.
I like the camo a lot. Actually, I'm going to show you, I suppose, throughout the vehicles, I'm going to show you all the South African camos, which surprisingly they actually get a winter camo.
They do. Curious.
Very curious. This is weird. I'm sorry.
It is just...
C'est un bus.
Why is it so big?
Why he long?
C'est un bus.
Big. It's
Why
just
he long?
It's a box.
It box.
It reminds me of a mini version of that demand truck that we got for Germany.
I mean,
Let's go.
Kinda, yeah. It's pretty sweet.
What this essentially is, in essence, is take kind of a South African.
Là, on peut dire que c'est un bus magique.
Turret. It is a 20mm autogun and an HGM launcher, and put it just on a massive infantry fighting transport truck, and that's how you get a new vehicle.
Pretty much. And functionally, at the moment, the 20mm cannon it isn't stabilized at the moment, but it is an analog of the R3T20's 20mm gun, so exactly the same fire rate, which is like 996 rounds per minute, I think. So hugely fast fire rate there on that gun. So as it's not stabilized, I guess it's not going to.
Apparemment oui, bon il disait, ils disent qu'il a une grosse cadence de tir, mais c'est normal, hein, on l'a vu tout à l'heure, hein, il tire vraiment vite, il tire plus vite qu'un BMP2 limite. Je crois qu'il tire même plus vite qu'un BMP2.
There's a lot of negative space in the middle of the vehicle from the side.
Et ils disent qu'il y a beaucoup d'espace vide au milieu du véhicule. Ouais, mais c'est pas grave, parce que tu tires ici avec de la hit, ça va faire une rupture de coque, donc on s'en bat les couilles. Rien à foutre. C'est le canon de la R3 ? Oui, non, mais ce que je veux dire, c'est qu'au niveau il tire plus vite qu'un BMP, c'est ça que je voulais dire. C'est ce qu'il était en train de dire il y a 2 secondes en fait.
It's the thing, you look at this thing from the side, you think, oh hey, center mass, let's go for this.
Exactly. And it's not really going to do much.
Fat R3. Ah bah là c'est pire que Fat
Keep
R3
mind, of course,
là.
this thing only has 3 crew, so any shot to the front is pretty much going to one-shot you. This is not a very survivable vehicle. Unless of course you present it from the side, in which case, yeah, this thing can probably still buy some APF SDS. Which is not bad at all.
Oui, des Landes chez les Anglais, oui. Oui.
Just saying. High mass, low power. It's what you get. Moving on to a Roykart, another
lui
one
par contre il m'intéresse. Lui il m'intéresse beaucoup.
Funky looking turret and even funky looking camo. So this, I believe, the Mttd, if I'm not mistaken, stands for Medium Turret Technical Demonstrator. I believe this was a prototype that wasn't actually adopted. But what you essentially have is a low profile turret.
Oh putain, il y a un autoloader en plus.
Sunken lower. So they can expose your turret.
Non, les bernes ne sont pas
example,
définitifs.
Without
Non,
exposing
ils sont
too
voués à
much of
changer.
your crew, which aid in survivability. Other than that, it's still
Lui, il
a very
m'intéresse
similar
vachement.
tank to the Roykart. You have the 105mm GT7 cannon, which is fully stabilized. You have the M23.
À quand le Vextra chez les Français, Gaijin, s'il vous plaît. Bon, je vais arrêter de me plaindre.
Reload stock. Which I don't believe. Maybe it can get an auto. I think it gets an auto.
Moi aussi, j'aimerais bien avoir mon 8x8 chez les Français, ce serait cool.
You cannot improve it with crew skills. At the same time, you also don't have a loader to lose to then halve your fire rate. So that's the one good thing.
Ouais, donc en gros, on reste à 6,7 et on peut pas l'améliorer parce que c'est un autoloader. Donc même si vous l'améliorez, ça change rien en fait.
But at the same time, if the ammo isn't hit directly,
non, pas d'info
and because
Blazer.
the crew is so sunken down into the hull, you have a decent chance of being able to at least survive a penetrating hit from the front if you play it nicely and you use that 10-degree gun depression to not show too much of your tank behind a hull. Alright, moving on to the next vehicle. We have the Elephant Mark II. We also have
le
the
gros
Elephant
cube,
Mark
ça c'est un gros cube.
The Elephant started out as a modification of the British Centurion tank. In fact, I can quickly show you the Elephant Mark I, which looks pretty much just like a Centurion.
Yeah, pretty much.
There it is.
Hop.
It's just Centurion. The Elephant Mark II is pretty much just added on armor on top of that. You have the 105mm GT8 cannon, 7.7 second reload stock, 10 degree gun depression, all good.
De mon avis, on peut descendre à 6
secondes
en as.
Internally, it's pretty much just a Centurion.
Ouais, c'est un Centurion.
Now, the South African variations have higher power engines, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Oui, en gros, il est en train de dire que le Centurion sud-africain a un meilleur moteur que le normal. C'est-à-dire qu'il a 1050 chevaux aussi, le bousin. Mais sinon, ça reste un 105 mm. Et... Après, ouais, il a DM63.
It does indeed. DM63 105mm, which is really quite powerful.
Pretty good stuff.
Actually, let me quickly switch over to Reddit mode for the screenshots. There you go. 436mm flat, 252 at angles. This is a very good shell against heavily angled surfaces, which is going to be quite nice. Promises a T2 upgrade as well. All that good stuff. Moving on to one I am actually really excited about myself.
Ah, la ZA35, elle est vachement drôle celle-là. J'ai hâte de voir la hauteur du radar.
Take some great things in this game. Take the Roycat chassis and
et la tourelle de la Guépard. Voilà.
Put them together and get this.
C'est une tourelle de Guépard avec un châssis de Roycat.
C'est la même chose. This is going to be a speedy.
Non, c'est pas ça hier. Là c'est pas ça. Hein, mais en gros, dans l'idée, c'est ça.
With two 35mm guns.
Les canons sont de production sud-africaine qui plus est.
Yes. Interesting.
Les GA35 c'est sud-africain.
I'm not going to take this out in test drive. Currently, again, since things are work in progress, the radar array does not work.
Ah, le radar fonctionne pas, putain, je suis déçu. Il peut pas le montrer. Je voulais voir le radar qui monte à 12 mètres.
SPA issues, I suppose, that Britain has.
Yeah, I think so. And I believe for this one at the moment, it doesn't get the DM23 Sabo auxiliary belt. I don't believe it does.
Ah,
no.
pour l'instant, il n'a pas les sabots.
Okay.
Les DM sont 3 sabots.
You don't have to. Yeah, you don't have a limited belt in that. Yeah. As you can see, you don't have any night vision, you don't have any thermals for this.
En gros, le canon rapide du ZA35 n'a pas encore les sabots.
It's a lower tier.
Mais ça va venir, ça va faire comme la Guépard et tout. À la fin, elle aura les sabots, elle aura sa bande.
And engine smoke. And speed. Speedy boy.
Comment se fait repérer? Ah, le radar là, vous êtes. Non, mais je vous promets, le radar, vous êtes spoté à 12 bornes.
Is of course not all. There are more South African vehicles coming. There's some that are not even shown here in Tech Tree right now.
Apparemment, il parle de rajouter certains véhicules dedans. Apparemment, tous les véhicules ne seraient pas présents de ce que. Le TTD, c'est l'espèce de Leopard de A4 sud-africain. Ouais, ils ont montré la Chine, ouais. Et bah bonne question Lucas, pour l'instant on n'en sait rien.
Pretty mobile vehicles, but the majority were fairly slow, like Chieftains and the Challengers. They not necessarily, well, the Challengers not necessarily incredibly slow, but not really mobile either. So this adds a lot more adaptability, which is really, really nice.
En gros, s'ils ont rajouté les véhicules sud-africains chez les Anglais, c'est parce que ça permet en fait aux Anglais d'avoir des véhicules plus mobiles. Parce qu'en gros, il est en train d'expliquer que les Chieftains, les Centurions et tout, c'est bien, c'est mobile, mais pas très mobile. En fait, c'est pas vraiment mobile. Ça se démerde. Alors que du coup, bah, en rajoutant les véhicules sud-africains, ça leur permet d'avoir une line-up avec, enfin plutôt une. Comment dire, pour compléter la partie mobile la partie mobile des Sud-Africains, quoi.
But I will just go over the statistics and the modifications. So if you want to save any of this information, screenshots or anything like that, you can have a look through. Models.
Je voulais le voir, mais c'est cool qu'il le montre.
I like the look of this thing with a little tower here. That's kind of pretty. What do you?
I'm trying to show the.
There you go. Having a lean here. And we'll just take a look at the armor here. I don't have a huge amount to add for these vehicles. Functionally, as it's been I haven't really had the opportunity to play much naval, but hopefully I can take a look at everything present, so you can see it for yourself.
J'adore voir ce que ça va donner les ciseaux.
On the dev server soon.
Le truc c'est que ce qui m'inquiète c'est qu'il a que des 40 mm en fait.
Have a new frigate for Britain, the Whitby class.
Ah voilà, le Whitby class.
It pleases my brain. This little thing goes a little bit up.
Looks a bit like a cargo ship, to be honest.
Kinda, yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. But
Ça me fait beaucoup penser. La façon dont c'est agencé, là, elle est en train d'en parler, là, justement, lui fait que la tourelle soit un petit peu sous-baissée par rapport à l'avant du navire. Ça me fait beaucoup penser au cuirassé, enfin, pas au cuirassé, au navire de transport, les cargos.
So, pretty nice, unique vehicle at the end of the coastal fleet line. Pretty nice vehicle.
It's got some funky looking mortar launchers.
Yes, it does. Very funky. A well-placed.
Il a des mortiers là.
I know, I like it.
Les mortiers à l'arrière. Les doubles.
And finally as well, we have the
double 4,5 pouces à l'avant.
Dreadnought here as well, which is a little bit faster than the current top tier, the Helgoland. It's one less turret, I believe, but it is a little bit faster. So again, some improvements, some drawbacks there overall.
On va dire que la mage rajoute rien d'exceptionnel pour l'instant. Enfin, c'est du rajout de contenu, mais il n'y a rien de typiquement. Comment dire, incroyable. Il n'y a pas de grosse mécanique pour l'instant. Ouais, les gars, ouais, les Allemands sont. Oui. Oh, les TNA chez les. Chez les Italiens. Il y a pas mal les TNA par contre. Il a l'air cool. Il y a pas mal de tourelles, il y a 3 tourelles. T'as toujours plus de bateaux de sauvetage, canaux de sauvetage là. Ils montreront pas la France aujourd'hui, je pense. Normalement, ils montreront pas la France.
Of course, lads, this is not all the vehicles that will be coming in this next patch. We have much more that we haven't not shown you. You will be able to figure out some of those in the dev server.
En gros, c'était un pré-DEV.STREAM en quelque sorte.
The launch day. Now, since we still have a little bit of time left, we are going to ask the chat. Oh yes, France. So, right, we don't have anything for France right now.
Donc en gros,
I believe there is something coming though.
Ils disent que on n'a pas rien et que ça va venir.
That's what we can tell you.
Ça va venir. En gros, c'est pas là pour l'instant, mais ça va venir. Pour faire ça. C'est ce qu'il est en train de dire.
TV view, the HUDs, and showing off the capabilities of the missile as well. Now, the AGM-65 currently as it stands, it's again work in progress. Stuff is not quite finished. You can actually lock onto targets up to like 11 kilos away, depending on the conditions.
C'est choquant, Gogo. On a vu, hein, ils ont déjà passé pour l'Italie en fait.
If it's nighttime, it's probably not going to be that good.
Non, le dev server est pas ouvert, non.
If the enemy is using smoke, all the good stuff, it's all going to be affecting the tracking of the missile itself. But currently, it only has a maximum range of around 5 to 6 kilometers before it explodes. Although I believe that should be a bit higher by release.
We shall see.
Yeah, we shall see. In the meantime, I'm going to go to the view again. Now, you do have a certain limit of how far you can use this camera. This is completely independent of the direction of your plane flying, by the way. So I can fly in one direction and keep flying that direction. And use the camera to lock on to that tank over there and fire the missile independently.
Bon là il montre les... Oh putain mais ça va être toxique par contre. Oh non, et pas ça, hein. Tout mais pas ça. Hein.
There is a chance for the missile to not be able to make the turn to hit the target. And of course, the less straight you fire the missile, the less accurate.
Après, si on sort en dernier mais qu'ils nous sortent un kit Azure ou une FL120 F2, plus un Mirage F1, je dis pas non. Hein. S'ils nous sortent un Mirage F1 plus kit Azure... Je veux bien être en dernier, hein. Moi ça me pose pas de problème. Hein. Aucun souci pour ça. Hein.
That's really the main issue that you have to evade enemy SPAA. The A70 is a big target for that. There you have the virtual HUD again.
Very pretty.
C'est pas impossible, Martin.
The Harriers do not have HUDs right now on this build. I can't actually confirm if they will have them. Again, this is just the first iteration. This is the first plane we have with the virtual HUD.
Un conseil les gars. Un conseil, la mise à jour sort, ne jouez pas en 10.3, ni 10.0, ni 9.0. Ne jouez pas le top tier en fait. Barrez-vous du top tier, ne jouez surtout pas le top tier.
Will Italy get a new plane? I don't think so. I can't recall one. I don't think so right now, no. At least none that are available on this preview build right now.
Yeah. And for somebody asking on Twitch, the F5 currently is after the F104G in the tech tree. So after that particular plane there.
I can see how far away you can lock onto this SPA from here. So you can see pretty well in the camera. Keep in mind, of course, if you're using this in a ground forces realistic battle, you are going to have some trouble trying to spot the target yourself, as we shown in the custom battle where I couldn't find Tom at first.
Allez, faire jour.
Now we are logged
Regardez
on.
le log
Keep
du
its
Maverick
lock
quoi.
on by itself.
Oh là là.
I do have to get a bit closer to fire the missile up though. And we're going to see.
That he do.
Mais après la
Alex
mage,
presents on Twitch
ne
asks,
sortez
Dev
pas en
server
top
opening
tier.
later.
Vraiment. Conseil,
Not today.
ne faites pas ça. C'est du suicide, ne faites pas ça.
But soon TM.
The big old TM.
Yes, big old TM. That's all we're going to say for now.
Ah, ils vont nous sortir un dev server demain soir, là c'est chacal. À tous les coups, il a dit ce soir il n'y aura pas de dev server, mais par contre c'est possible que très bientôt. Genre dans la semaine, il va y en avoir un tous les coups, ou demain ça se trouve, mais ça m'étonnerait demain ou dimanche.
No? Yes? No? No, not quite.
No.
Ooh, I forgot to show you actually the stats currently for this missile, which are impressive.
Yeah, give it a look. Very impressive.
On a montré les stats du Maverick.
Impressive, I have to say. So once again, this is what you can currently equip to your plane. These are the new loadouts over here. You can carry Mavericks with AIM-9 ACE and bombs if you want to.
Oh, c'est les compos d'armement à pion pouvoir chez les ricains.
Really quite powerful. You can also carry 4 Mavericks and 2 AIM-9 Js to give you that best of both worlds scenario. So you can attack both ground and air targets quite effectively.
Oui, oui, le missile il a existé, hein, le missile a existé.
Right here. 51 kilogram explosive filler and quite a bit of
weapon long range. Non, après il peut pas le lancer à moins de, il peut pas le lancer à plus de 6 km. En gros, il a 6 km de portée le missile. 20 km de verrouillage, 6 km de portée les gars. T'inquiète pas, hein, vous inquiétez pas, le missile il part pas à 20 bornes. Il est obligé de le tirer à 6 km.
Nope. Nope, what am I doing? Actually, you do have it, don't you?
20 km de verrouillage, pas de tir, de verrouillage.
Something Easter egg.
What could this be?
I don't know what it is, honestly.
No idea.
It sounds weird. I don't think that exists.
I don't think so.
I just don't think
I
that
would
exists.
wager not. No,
Yes.
very much.
In fact, does any of this exist? What is an SC-17 even?
I don't know. The sort of cake, I believe.
C'est des gamins putain.
My brain always goes to cake.
Font la blague à tous les lives quoi.
It's just that's
I
the
like
first
cake.
thing. Okay, that's good.
Le 29L par contre il me fait peur.
You can see some of the missiles that are planned for this vehicle that are not currently ready for showing as well.
Ils sont pas prêts. Le 29L est énorme. Le 29L il est énorme comme missile.
I think this one is a laser guided one, but they are still mouse aimed. This one I'm not too sure about.
Attends.
But it seems to be pretty powerful.
So something else I don't think has been mentioned is that a lot of other vehicles have been given the strike aircraft or attacker designation. So a lot of the vehicles here, the A1 U4, 262, the Dorniers, the ME410s and the 110s as well have the strike aircraft designation. I think overall there's a couple more additions as well. So the Key 109, I think the British tree, some of the Fireflies, Firebrown, Mosquito, Bowfighter, etc. They will have this designation as well. So that's
donc apparemment ils sont en train de changer les désignations des véhicules.
So that's just another little tech tree change as well there. Pretty much overall, all the new vehicles.
Regardez, c'est ça le 29L. Le X29L qu'ils ont montré, c'est ce missile-là. Il est énorme. Hein. C'est une bombe nucléaire volante. Hein. C'est un délire.
And you don't want to miss that out, especially with all this new stuff.
Bon, pensez à mettre vos dev serveurs à jour.
Tell us, by the way, what your favorite new vehicle is from what you have seen so far. Honestly, for myself, I think I'm really excited for the F5. It looks very interesting.
I think I'm excited with stuff that we haven't quite shown yet.
Yes.
There's a couple of very sweet additions coming that I'm pretty hyped for.
Keep an eye on the devlogs. If you're currently on YouTube, you can also follow the devlogs down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the WarThunder channel on YouTube and follow on Twitch. We shall see you once again next week on Friday for a regular WarThunder stream.
Bon, eh ben...
My name is Marcus Boom. I've been joined by Tom. Hopefully you've enjoyed this server preview, this content preview, this update preview. And I'm going to play the trailer once again for the outro.
Oh, loud he did.
Regardez-moi ça, putain, le chat, quoi. Regardez-moi cette haine. Bon, bah pour ma part, ça va être tout aussi, je pense. Cette haine dans le chat, putain, fix your game. Oh, mon dieu. Pauvre Oxy et pauvre Mike, ils sont pour rien, eux. Ils font juste la pub et la com. Bon, et ben voilà. J'espère que ça vous aura plu. On attendra le prochain pour voir ce qu'il y a chez les Français, parce que pour l'instant, je suis pas satisfait. Mais bon, c'est comme ça. Faut patienter. De toute façon, qu'on fasse quelque chose ou pas, ça changera rien. Donc, on attend de voir la prochaine mise à jour, enfin le prochain dev server, dev stream, tout ça, Pensez bien à laisser vos DEV.STREAM, enfin vos dev serveurs à jour et à rejoindre le Discord parce que étant partenaire Gaijin, je sais en avance quand est-ce que le dev server va sortir. Donc je pourrais vous partager en fait en avance, sans vous dire clairement que c'est ça, je pourrais vous partager en avance que le dev server va ouvrir en fait. Donc pensez bien à rejoindre le Discord, il y a le lien normalement qui est par là. Et pensez bien à laisser un message surtout quand vous arrivez sur le Discord, parce que sinon vous ne pourrez pas avoir accès au reste du Discord. Donc pour ceux qui veulent, voilà, c'est le Discord. Je vais vous laisser. Merci beaucoup d'avoir été là. Bonne soirée, bon appétit, tout ça. Je vous tiens au courant pour le dev server s'il arrive. Et puis à un prochain dev stream pour savoir si on a du matériel français. Sur ce, à toutes.